Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this look right here. It's a very neutral, semi-smoky eye. I personally wouldn't qualify this as a smoky eye, but I mean a lot of people I guess you would since it kind of smokes out on the bottom. But it's not really smoky to me just because it's very just because it's, you know, really neutral. So this is the look I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to show you how to be doing this hair, unfortunately. My setup isn't as extensive as that right now, but it's just on this makeup look right here. So I really hope that you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. So first thing is first, I'm going to be applying my foundation, same as always, my MAC Studio Fix in NC30. If you want to see the in-depth tutorial of how I put on my foundation, I will link my foundation routine down below. There's nothing new about this, guys. I'm just using the same brush as always, my Jessup Flat Tip brush, and starting from my jawline and working my way up in pressing and swiping motions all at the same time. And I'm really making sure that I'm not removing any of the product as I'm applying it, and making sure that I am keeping the product exactly where it is that I want it to be. So once we get close to being done with our foundation, like I am right here, I am going to be doing my highlight and contour / concealing of under the eyes. I'm using the same thing that I always use, which is my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in shade 110 and my Maybelline Dream Illumi pen that I got originally. I just really like how this pen applies my my concealer and highlight. I just like the size and shape of the pen and the movement and the bristles. But any sort of brush that is similar to this size will work. So here I am contouring the nose, and I'm highlighting the nose. I can't talk. And just doing a little bit of highlight on my forehead. If you guys watched my highlight and contour video, you guys know that I don't particularly like drawing a lot of attention to my forehead. I think it's, you know, pretty big. I mean, not huge, but I think it's big in my opinion. And then I'm highlighting underneath where we're going to be doing our contour on our cheeks, and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Once I have all of that set in place, I'm going to be going in with my beauty blender that of course is damp. You want to get it under running water, and you want to squeeze it as tight as you can squeeze it, about 10 to 20 times, just depending on, you know, how much moisture you want to have in it. I really like doing it about 15 times, and I give it a really nice squeeze at the end to make sure that it's not super soaking wet, but it's not completely missing any of the moisture that I want it to have. So here I'm just really pushing in and pressing that product into my skin and making sure that it's blended nicely the way that I like it. And there's the highlight right there. And from there I'm going to be doing my contour with my e.l.f. Golden Bronzer and that brown shade right there on the bottom. And I'm going in with my Jessup round brush. It's the face brush. And as always, guys, I'll be linking all of the products that I use down below, from, you know, the products that I use to put on my face and the brushes that I use to put them on with. So here I'm starting from my ear and just dragging that line down and carving out my contour. And depending on how intense I want it is how much of the contour powder that I put on. Then from there I move on to my temples and around my hairline on my forehead. And then I do a little bit underneath my bottom lip with the side of my brush, and then my jawline. From there, I'll be using this smaller Jessup flat top brush with the same bronzing slash contouring powder, and I will be carving out my nose. I like to do from the inner corner of my eyebrow and just drag a straight line down to the end of my nose and blend in on the sides. And I like to drag it across the tip of my nose just a little bit, just to round out that point that I have. So now that we're done with highlighting and contouring, I move on to my brows. I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Blonde, and I use this e.l.f. small angled brush right there. And if you want to see more of an in-depth way of how I do my brows, you can look at my eyebrow routine. I'm going to be updating it in a little while just because of the setup that I had. And with Movie Magic, I go from having no brows to 2 because we don't want to have a really long tutorial. So next I'm going to be just getting some Scotch tape, and I'm going to be putting it on the back of my hand and taking it off a couple of times just to get the stickiness, you know, the real stickiness off. And then I'm going to be lining it up on my eye just the way that I want my angle to go when I have my finished look. Wherever it is that I want that crisp line to be is where I'm going to be angling that tape. I'm putting it underneath my bottom lash line, not hugging it all the way in, but as close as it is that I want it to be, and I'm angling the tape into the direction that I'm going to want my winged liner to be. Then I'm going in with my MAC paint pot in Painterly and just this e.l.f. Angled brush, and I'm applying this as my primer. I get all over the lid and I really just rub it on there as intense that I want it. The more of this that you use, the more true to color your eyeshadows are going to be, just because it really gives that blank canvas. I also really like to hug it up close to my eyebrows too, because I like to do a brow bone highlight. I'm going to be going in with this NYX palette, which is one of their Love in Paris palettes. I think this one is Parisian Chic. This middle brown shade right there is what we're going to be using to put just above our crease. And I'm using this Jessup round brush to just apply the product and get it on there the way that I like it. And I'm going to be doing that on both sides and then going in with my MAC 224 brush and just blending it out. Once that's blended, I'm going back in with that Jessup brush. I've wiped it off at this point, and the brown shade that is just underneath the shade that we used, I'm going to be doing that more concentrated in my crease. Basically, underneath where we just put that lighter brown shade is where we're going to be putting this one. And I just kind of pack it on there to the intensity that I like, and I blend it out. And we will be taking this all the way into the inner eye. Then with this e.l.f. C brush, I'm going to be going in with this lighter shade all the way on the top, and I'm going to be packing that in on the inner half of my eyelid. Just on my lid from the corner of my eye to the center, I'm just going to be packing that on until I get the intensity that I like. Once I have that done, I'm just going to be blending it just to make sure we have no harsh edges. Then I'm going to be using this Jessup pencil brush, and I'm going to be going in with the dark shade all the way there in the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to do a little bit of lining on my lash line and doing the V shape that you're seeing right there on my outer eye, and I'm just going to be doing it to the intensity that I like. I'm really not going to be putting any product in the middle of that V. I'm just going to be concentrating on basically drawing a V and then blending it out, and whatever product gets in that V from me blending is what I end up keeping there. So now that all of that is on, I'm going to be taking off the tape that I put on. Ooh, it looks so painful. It's really not, I promise, but it looks weird. So there you can see the crease. You can see that a little bit of my foundation came off. That's because I really didn't have as much of the sticky part of the tape come off as I would have liked. I go in and I put foundation back on. So then with that middle brown color, I'm going to be taking this brush, this pencil brush, and just sweeping it all over as close as I can to my bottom lashes. all the way from the outside edge to the inner corner of my eye. And then with the darker color, I'm really going to be mostly concentrating on the outer edge of my eye. I'm not going to be going too far in. Really, the halfway point is as far as I want to go. And then you see how I'm rounding it out around the outer edge of my eye just to blend it all together. Then with the same MAC 224 brush, I'm just blending out that lower lash line. So now that that is done, I'm going to be going in with my e.l.f. liquid liner, and I'm basically going to line my upper lash line first, and once it's lined with the liquid liner, I like to trace the crisp line right there that we made with our tape, and I just flick it out to as big as I want my wing, and then I take the liner brush, and from the edge of that flick all the way down to my lash line, I just drag it down, and I just keep sort of adding on the liner until I like the thickness and the smooth line that I have for my wing. So when I like what I see, I move on to the other side and I just do the same thing. I start with lining my actual lash line on the top, and then I go to the crisp crease that we got right there, and I just flick it out to as far as I want that wing to go, and then I just draw a line and I connect it from the outer point of that flick, and I just connect it to my lash line, and I just keep going over that until it's smooth and the thickness that's desired. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial of winged liner, you guys can go ahead and drop me a comment below or shoot me an email. So now that I have my winged liner done, I'm going in with my Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner, and I'm going to be doing this with the e.l.f. small angled brush. I'm going to be just doing this simple process of adding it to my waterline, and then once it's added to my waterline, I'm just going to be taking a small bit of that product and going underneath my bottom lash line just to about 2/3 of the way in, and then I'm taking this pencil brush and just sort of blending it all together so it blends in with the shadow. Then I'm going in with my Rimmel Stay Matte Foundation Powder in shade 003, also known as Natural, and this e.l.f. Face Powder Brush, and I'm going to be dusting the powder all over my face, just to really set my foundation and set my concealer that I did earlier. So once that is done, I'm going to be going in with blush. This is NYX in Mocha. And I don't have the name of this brush, but basically any sort of blush brush will work for you. Blush brush. Try saying that 10 times fast. I also really like this brush. Blush. I like this blush. I like the blush because it's very natural. It is very feminine but not too pink. And then I'm going in with just this Revlon eyelash curler and my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just doing the same thing that I always do. I'm curling my lashes and putting a coat of mascara on, and then curling them again and putting another coat of mascara on, and then I put mascara on the bottom lash line as well. So when that's done, I move on to lips, and I'm going on to my favorite nude shade, which is the Kate series by Rimmel. I'm getting really tongue-tied, guys. I'm so sorry. The Kate series by Rimmel London in shade 14. It is my favorite nude shade at the moment, and I absolutely love it. And I jam out. So then the last step is the MAC's spray, the setting spray that they have. And from there, my face is done, but I gotta figure out something to do with this hothead of a mess. And because I don't have a setup here, I'm gonna use Movie Magic, and I'm basically just gonna snap my fingers and my hair is gonna be done. Voila, there it is, guys. Yeah, I was sort of late on the snapping part, but whatever. So this is it, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you guys enjoy this look. This is the finished look with the hair and makeup in my soft, neutral, semi-smoky, shimmery, whatever it is that you want to call this look. That's what this look is. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys, see you soon.